Alright, welcome back to another video out here at Shitbox Alley. I'm here with Mac. We put some more cars in the driveway. Obviously we have the Magnum. These are my nice cars here. The ones that are getting shit on by birds. I don't know what's happening, but birds just come and sit on this telephone line and just shit on all my cars. It is really starting to make me mad. But we got my nice cars here. My Jeep is, yeah, somewhat nice. Right now, it's about to undergo some repairs. If you see that there. Yeah, I got a friend of mine coming soon, and we're gonna weld that back on. Jeep's still driving fine. I mean, it's been a good vehicle. I just turfed up the lawn with it. Got Mac's truck, pretty nice car. We got this. This is something I just picked up. As you can see, it's been sitting for a bit, but I drove it home, and it drives great. It's a Toyota 4Runner, obviously. Bought it for 500 bucks. What do they say? What's the old quote? Yeah, you never pass up a $500 Toyota? Yeah, you definitely don't. And I didn't. I picked this one up. It is an 05, 04? Yeah, it says 04 on the door, so it's probably an 05. It's a great runner. I mean, like, I drove this home no problem at all from up the road. Obviously, it's got some cosmetic issues. It's got some rust there on the bumper covers. I'm going to slap some new bumper covers on it. That'll be fine. I'll get some chrome ones for it. It's got the gold badge package. All the windows work, even this rear one rolls down. It runs and drives fine. It's going to need an AC recharge, stuff like that. Big thing with it is power steering went out. It's leaking from the pump and from the rack. So, I got to figure out if I would like to replace the pump, replace the rack, or clean it up, send it down the road, let someone else replace it. This isn't the only car we picked up today, though. We also got a 93, 95, something like that Ford Taurus, which you're about to see because we're about to go pick it up. That one I can't drive home. Brakes have gone out on it. Transmission,
little weak.
I think it needs some fluid. It goes into drive, reverse. It doesn't like to go into reverse. If it needs, it's probably going to be a parts car. I'm trying to give it one last chance before sending it to the junker. I bought it for 200 bucks, so no matter what, I'll make some money on it. And it's worth it to me to try to save a car from the junkyard. It's rusty, you'll see. This one is not that rusty. Frame is really good looking on this. We're in not upstate PA, we're like by Delaware. So you can find some pretty nice examples of cars. It does have a couple of spots in this driver's side rocker panel. That doesn't even scare me. It's got 240,000 miles, something like that. 246. And they gave me some free trash. Look, it's got the SR5 headrest. It's got a sunroof. Doesn't work. I'm thinking it's just going to be that control switch though, because it wants to close, it just doesn't want to open. Yeah, you can see rear folding seats. Get some free ratchet straps with it. It's got the tonneau cargo cover too, so leather wrap steering wheel. It's got some options. This thing was loaded up. But yeah, so I'm gonna breathe some new life into this and see if I'm gonna fix the problem or not. I still don't know yet. I might not. Big thing is I want to get these cars looking like they haven't been sitting for a while. This one would pass, obviously it was inspected last year. It would pass inspection if I did the steering rack and all that, if it has power steering again. The Taurus is probably not going to pass no matter what because it's so rusty. I don't know, we'll see. I got some places to take them where they don't really get too scared of the rust. But yeah, so anyway, Mac and I have to go run to the U-Haul dealer. I got to get a tow hitch actually for the Trailblazer, which I believe is either down in the boat or in the porch. Yeah, I'm going to tow the Taurus back with the Trailblazer. If you remember when I picked up my Honda Accord a couple years ago, I did that. This thing tows pretty good. And it's not a long drive, it's right up the road actually, so pretty easy with that. And yeah, so we're going to get going. We're going to get these cars, get them back here. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them today or not. I got to figure out with the Taurus. I need to get that thing moved quickly because I can't have all these cars sitting in my yard. But the 4Runner, I think I'm going to put some time and effort into that to get that running good and make some money out of it. Alright, you can see we got the trash can out here. I'm going to go through this entire vehicle and just pull out all the trash here. If you're wondering, no, the Taurus is not here. Reason why, Sunday, all the U-Haul dealers were closed and I could not get a U-Haul tow dolly for the life of me. Yeah, I know I should buy my own tow dolly. I've had multiple chances to now. The only reason I haven't is because I'm moving soon. But yeah, we're gonna clean this thing out thoroughly with the trash and all that. Interior is actually really clean. I mean, I pulled those seats up back there. Look how nice they are. It's really just the driver's seat's got one hole. I might try to see if I can, these are junkyard parts like this I might be able to find. If I can find a new wheel, I'll get it. If not, I'm just gonna leave that wheel cover on. If I find a new seat, cool, whatever. I kind of doubt I'll find one, but if I do, whatever. These wood pieces, you can actually see I took off the like fake varnish. It's real wood underneath, and it looks kind of good. So I'll probably put some sort of treatment on that then, so it doesn't rot away. Same with the center console and all that. And then this is factory. These are just plastic switches. So they're meant to be there. This is not, but as you can see, the plastic has not peeled up yet on those, so actually that side looks pretty bad, but whatever. The rear's got some stuff in it. The other thing about the rear is, let's see, luckily the struts hold, or else this would suck. This latch is very broken. It's all rotted, so I'm going to take it off. It doesn't latch right now. You can see there's some rust here too. Oh yeah, that whole strip just pulled off. Yep, some rust. Of course, there's rust. It's an old vehicle in Pennsylvania. I don't know what is in that shirt. Oh, sunglasses. This windshield wiper I thought was for the rear, but I couldn't figure out how to get it fit yet, so we'll leave it here and hopefully get to work. I just realized this is a carpet. Oh, it is the carpet though. Okay. It's not just like a cargo carpet. But yeah, so I'm going to take that off, get this trash cleaned out, and tomorrow I'm going to actually go pick up the Taurus. And I might, if I have a chance, we might wash them both, so they just look a bit more presentable here in my driveway. It doesn't look like a junkyard. The Jeep took up a lot of my time today, but I did get it fixed. You can see up under there. It's a lot more reinforced now. We put some extra metal in there, and the job was definitely done right, but it took a long time. Look at this. Just with the trash out, it just looks so much more presentable. Looks like a nice place to be. Clean up that center console and all that. There's not a bunch of junk in there anymore. And it just looks like a good vehicle now. A couple of parts, like I said, I'm going to get at the junkyard. Look how nice it is back here without the trash. These back seats look like they've rarely been used. I mean, it's a cool looking interior too. It's got some features. Look at that, rear heat. Some cool features that just, for 2004, were way ahead of its time. I mean, you see why Toyotas are such good vehicles. Still, the Toyota tax is pretty crazy, but I didn't have to pay that for this thing, luckily. You can see I took that latch off. I'm going to order a new one. Luckily now this closes flush, so water shouldn't be getting in anymore. It just doesn't latch. A couple of cool things I found in here that I'm going to keep. A model truck, a bunch of ratchet straps, and some tools. I'm going to try to fit that wiper on at some point again. I put the little cargo cover up. It does fit. It is for this vehicle. There's the other side of the back. So yeah, it looks like a good vehicle now on the inside. Maybe tomorrow I'll wash this in the Taurus. We'll see. But yeah, so this is probably all I'm getting done for this today. It was just some cleaning. Tomorrow's going to be a lot more of a busier day with the work on this. Alright, next day you can see we're at U-Haul. I believe that's our tow dolly right over there. I reserved it this morning, so it should be ours. We'll be a little pissed if it's not, because this station is actually pretty far away compared to the one that I normally go to. The one I normally go to didn't have tow dollies. Go figure. So I had to drive like half an hour to this one. I want to make quick work of this. If you can see these clouds around here, we have a series of pretty rough thunderstorms coming today, and possibly some tornadoes. Once a year in Pennsylvania we'll get, you know, a storm like this that brings some tornadoes around, and they're not bad tornadoes like you see out in Oklahoma or the West, or, you know, Texas and all that, but they still do some damage, and I really would like to get this car home and not get caught in one. So anyway, I'm gonna get inside, get the tow dolly hooked up, and get the car, essentially. Forgot how much I hated towing these things. Literally, when they don't have any weight on them, any bump you hit, it goes flying. But here it is. She's looking good. There's a Trailblazer doing a fabulous job as always. Yeah, it's about 2 o'clock. Actually, it looks like it's already rained here. I'm gonna run up, now. It's about 1 o'clock. I'm gonna run, get the car. Hopefully I can get it within an hour, get it back here parked. I'm gonna have to maneuver everything around here. Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet. I was gonna park something down there. I don't know. I might just park the Taurus right here. I was gonna put the 4Runner down next to the barn, and then the Jeep stays where it always is, and then the Taurus was gonna go here. But I think I feel better with the Taurus parking here because there's more stones and it won't get stuck. So I'm probably just gonna park them, line them all up here for now. But at the same time, I don't know, because I need somewhere to put this tow dolly now, because I'm not running it back right away. So I gotta put it probably right over there. So I don't know. First thing of business though, I gotta go get this car. Oh yeah. You can see why I hate these things. I mean, this is like the worst road I could be taking it on right now. Yep. Hey, if anyone was trying to sleep or sleeping, I'm waking them up. So freaking loud. I don't know, but yep, pulling up on the house now. Well, new plan. That's the car right there. You see it's a little crooked? Yeah, transmission went out right after I did that. Well, excuse me. It's got no fluid. So no wonder it didn't want to move further than that. So I'm going to back the trailer down, which will be fun, but let's do it. Well, you can see behind us there, she's with us, and the rain is just starting, so perfect timing. This is going to be a fun ride home. This is a very narrow road here, and it's all back roads, but she's riding all right. I mean, we strapped her in good, but yeah, my 4-ways are off. I had the 4-ways on, but the battery died. But yeah, I'm just gonna get home. It's about 5 minutes away, and then we'll take another look at her. Well, here she is. Sam is here to help me with it while we avoid these storms. Yeah, we're just gonna try to get it right next. Actually, I might want to drive it up a bit more, Sam. Reverse is all right.
I don't think it's going anywhere.
Yeah, but to get it into this spot, it doesn't like to drive. It likes reverse. Or reverse is better. No matter what, you're gonna have to push. Yeah, here it is, quick once around. It's got a lot of rust. Bam, rust. Fender up there is pretty bad. This fender's fine, the rest of this side's fine. Just that. Needs a good pressure washing, both of them need that. Yeah. I did the interior, the interior of this thing is nice though. Other than a couple rips, I cleaned it out.
Just drive it into
really nice. Honestly, let's do that. We're about to have one. Alright, I gotta get this here, and then we are good to go. Well, quickly you can see it down there now. That took forever. That was not fun at all. But yeah, now we got a shitbox fleet. The steering column locked up, but it's not locked, or the ignition column locked up, it's not locked anymore. Sam's confused. Yeah, not having a fun time because no power steering that. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out the transmission issue, and then we'll be good to go. I gotta get this and I'm gonna go park this up at the church because it's got nowhere else for me to put this tow dolly right now. So I'm gonna take it up to the church, and then Sam and we're gonna figure out where some of these storms are, because there might be some more around. Figure out the rest of the day.
We got some low-hanging clouds here.
Yeah, so our timing's impeccable. We got one storm looming over us right now, the same one that we just took some clips of. As you can hear, the tow dolly is still on. We are taking it back right now in the middle of the storm. And hopefully we can catch some stuff, if there is anything. Those clouds are a little funky, but nothing, you know, tornadic. Alright, here's both cars. It is the next day out here, and I've filled them up with a little bit of fluid here. Well, a couple of things with fluid. Big thing was the brake reservoir here I filled with fluid. And probably, I don't know if you can see it down there or not. There's that drip right there. Yeah, you can see it. That drip that's on that brake booster down there. Yeah, brake booster's leaking. Either it's the seal at the master cylinder, which I'm assuming because it looks completely rotted out in there. So I'm assuming it's a bad seal because it's rotted out. So I'm going to grab this a new brake booster, but I'm only going to do that after I fill up this transmission with some fluid and try to find out where the leak is for that. I haven't done that yet. Obviously I'm going to have to jump the car and let it run, and I'm going to have to get underneath, which I should have enough room to do that. Now with the 4Runner, I filled it up with power steering fluid. See, it's got some fluid now. It's up to where it should be on the line. And if you get underneath it, don't know how well I'm going to be able to show this to you guys, especially because it doesn't want to focus. There you go. You can see it's dripping just a little bit off of that. On both sides, so seals are bad on both sides. So like the guy told me, it's going to need a rack and pinion. I don't think it's going to need a pump though. I'm going to fire it up right now and see, while it's got some fluid in it, how it feels. It'll probably have some power steering now because it's got fluid in it, just until that fluid leaks out again, at least. I drove this today. I went and got hay with it for my animals, and it was a good vehicle for that. It's a nice little work vehicle. Oh yeah, no, that pump sounds bad as well. It could just be low on fluid. I do have power steering right now, just not much of it. Yeah, that pump's probably bad as well. See, my wheels are straight. See how much we can hear it underneath the hood. The one thing is, no, it's humming. Yeah, no, so most likely that power steering pump is bad as well, so I'm going to have to do both of those. For this, I'm probably going to try to get a quote for those jobs, because if I'm able to send this to a shop somewhere to get that work done while I work on the Taurus, that budgets up my time nicely and basically gets these cars out here quicker. And I'm into this thing so cheap that I could do that and still make money. Oh, yeah. I could just be the rack and pinion making that noise too. So I think no matter what, I'm gonna get the rack and pinion done first because I know it needs that. And then from there I can go, and if it's still having issues, I know it's a power steering pump as well. But yeah, so I'm gonna shut this off for now. I'll tell you what, definitely, it wasn't making that noise without fluid in there at all. So it did need fluid. Obviously it was bone dry. So yeah, it'll probably leak it all out, and by tomorrow, if I drive it again, I'll have no power steering at all. But that's that. That's enough for this car as of now, because the main car for me today is going to be the Taurus now. I want to get some transmission fluid in this and see what it does, see where it's leaking from primarily. So I'm going to have to get underneath, find out if it's just a line or a seal. Okay. Obviously, if it's a cracked transmission, if it's just a cracked pan, cool, I'll put a new pan on. If it's more than that, nah, I'll just end up selling it with a bad transmission. I might still put the brake booster in it, only because that's a little thing to make it just somewhat more drivable, so someone else is it's more appealing for someone else. Or I just list it with no brakes, bad transmission, take it off my property. So we'll see. The bottom line, this we know what the issue is as of now. This we do not yet. So let's get to it and let's find some stuff out. Alright, so I've had this car run now. It got way up to operating temperature. It was good. No overheating, obviously. Motor's great. Everything about the motor is great. It's a low mileage car. It did pop right into gear. I put two quarts of fluid in it. Obviously not enough. It needs a lot more than that. But with just that little bit of fluid, it popped right into gear and wanted to go. So that we know the transmission's good, it just needs fluid. It's really wet underneath. It's impossible for you to really see, but it's really wet there on the transmission pan. And you can also see dripping right there. Yep, you can see that. That is a brake hose right up in here. If I jack up the car, it should not be a hard one to patch at all. I'll have to bend it though, that will suck. But other than the bend, it should be a pretty straightforward one to fix. That was from the funnel. The funnel dripped some transmission fluid. And of course, we've got that leaking brake booster, so we'll get that fixed up. Really, the transmission problem should be quick and easy. I'll just do fluid filter change and do the transmission pan seal. So just a transmission service really should get the transmission back to where it should be. And for the brakes, we'll do a little bit more. We'll do the line. That was the only line I saw leaking over here. Yeah, we're good over here. Nothing's leaking over here. I got underneath, obviously. It looks pretty rust-free underneath. I tried to scan it to figure out the airbag light. There's no OBD port. You'd think 1994 would have that. It doesn't. I can always look some stuff up and see. Maybe I missed something. This door you really got to slam to get it to shut. So striker is probably bad on that door, but it still closes. Windshield wipers work, headlights work, turn signals work. This is a car that I think will pass inspection if I fix the 2 little things it needs to get back to driving order. Alright, well you can see today we have her jacked up. Got the wheel off over here. You can see, maybe you can't. There's a brake line that we need to pull out back there. You can see it dripping. I might actually try to get to the transmission pan today too and do all that. It just sucks working out here underneath this car because it's hard to jack up. But it's whatever, it's what I gotta do. If it had brakes, maybe I move it up to the upper lot. I don't know, maybe I can get, I definitely need, I tried to get the brake booster today, they didn't have it. So now I got to order offline, so I want to get done stuff that I can get done today, which would be the transmission stuff. There's a new filter right there. As you can see, gasket over here. We pulled out the pan. You can see it sitting down there. Just letting the rest of everything drip into it, the old filter there. So pop the new filter in. I'm going to bring this pan out then, dispose of this fluid, clean off the gasket, put the new gasket on, put the filter in, and add the fluid, and she should be good to go and shifting right. Well, you can see some time has gone by. I finished up the transmission job. I looked under, nothing was leaking. I'm assuming that's still the case. Yeah, no, nothing's leaking, other than some of the fluid I dropped when I did the job. But yeah, we did complete fluid flush, obviously because there wasn't much fluid in there. Filter, gasket for the pan, clean the pan. No metal shards in there at all, which I would expect that for only 89,000 miles. Put new fluid in. We're gonna see. We got the boys here. We're gonna see if it moves.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Now reverse is the big question. Oh my God. That's it.
It's got reversed. That's way better than what we had going on this trailer.
Oh yeah.
If I had known it when we needed that, God, life would have been so much simpler for Sam and I.
Alright, it is finally brake booster day here for the Taurus. As you can see, we've got this brand new one over here. Really skinny brake boosters on these. Anyway, this does not look like it's going to be a fun job. That is really far back there. And I got a lot of stuff I got to move. Actually, what is that? That is like, those are wires. Yeah, it's all trash back there. Yeah, a lot of wires and stuff in the way. First things first, I'm going to take off this air box. This vacuum pump here, I don't know if that's for the horns or what that's for. I think that's just a vacuum control module. That kind of scares me, because those things, all these hoses are probably brittle and not fun to work with, but I'm probably going to have to move that as well to get this brake booster out. Take off this plastic piece up here. Lots of stuff in the way, but once I get that stuff out of the way, it should come out easily. Of course, if you've never done a brake booster before, you got bolts on the engine side and bolts on the pedal side, which you can see up in there, where the brake pedal connects to the booster. So I'm just gonna start tearing it apart, getting in there, and hopefully we can get this done today. I'm actually genuinely surprised with how easily all this came apart. There's the air box. Air filter actually looks really clean. Took that little gasket off from over there. on that plastic, and then I just took this plastic off. Not all the screws are coming out. They're these stupid little plastic screws. Let's see if I can focus you in. Yeah, they're plastic screws with grommets, so they don't work well. But luckily the one right there that I needed to get out came out, as you can see, and we've got some working space now. I had to unplug a bunch of wires for the wipers and all that. And yeah, we're just undoing the 2 bolts on the master cylinder there, and then I'll get to the ones inside the car, and we should be able to pull this out. So, bit of change here. I went to go take the master cylinder out because I got those bolts out finally. Gear wrench, get one of these. It'll make getting those 2 bolts out so much easier because there was no working space, even with the stuff I removed. Yeah, I went to pull that master cylinder out. It's stuck in there. Very common problem. I was hoping we could get away with not having to get a master cylinder. I really should have gotten one. I was at an auto parts store and they had one, and I should have gotten it way back when. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it now, and if I do get it now, I got to take a long ass drive to go get it. But anyway, so I'm just going to pull this master cylinder and brake booster out at the same time. You can see, luckily those 2 lines disconnected pretty easily. Sucks I gotta do one more thing, put one more thing of money into this, especially since I got this line to patch still before the brakes are even solid. But it is what it is, it's what we gotta do. Alright, you can see here's the new brake booster. Finally got the old brake booster out. If you're doing this job yourself, you gotta take that bracket out for the throttle control. You can see it's that rusty bracket right there. And then you got enough space to pull the whole boot out. You kind of got to go on an angle sideways towards this side, and then you got to kind of just move it up past the mass airflow sensor, and you're good to go. Pulled that out. A lot of brake fluid down there, so this has been leaking for a while. Glad I can finally fix it, and yeah, so now it's just piecing everything back together. I don't think I'm going to get that all done today. Wow. All right. Gonna definitely get that booster seated in here, so then just sometime this week when I get some time I can just start bolting everything back in and plugging everything back in. But yeah, so let's just wedge that back in for now, and I gotta call it a day for today. Alright, it's been a while since we've worked on the 4Runner or the Taurus. I'm still getting work done with the Taurus with the brake lines and all that. I just got the brake booster in, so I just gotta get those brake lines done, and that'll be next up for kind of the treatment we're doing to this today. As you can see, I got a lot of parts for this thing. We'll start over here because this is what we're doing first. As you remember, it has a power steering leak on the rack. I wasn't too sure which of these cars I wanted to fix up when I first got them. Whether I wanted to do the 4Runner completely or the Taurus. I started with the Taurus, and the Taurus has taken up a lot of my time. I'm really out of time at this point, and I can make pretty much just the same amount of profit off of this truck. But anyway, I can make just as much money off of this truck if I cleaned it up, fixed the cosmetic stuff that's wrong with it, did a quick fix on the power steering issue, because it drives great. But yeah, so I got bumper covers. That's a big box back there. As you can see, both of them, or they're not covers. Ooh, what? Aston Martin. That was pretty nice. Oh yeah, if you're wondering about this car, if you've watched the Maryland video, my Ocean City vlog, the Magnum got hit. That's my rental car. I have no idea what's going on with the Magnum, to be honest, actually, right now. I haven't heard. It was dropped off a week ago today, and I still haven't heard from the shop on what the estimate's going to be, or whether they're working on it or totaling it. So I don't know. But in the meantime, they've given me probably one of the dumbest looking cars ever to drive. Look at this thing. 2021 Chevy Spark. I'd like it if it wasn't bright blue or turquoise or whatever the hell this color is, and wasn't a CVT. It's alright, like, obviously it's locked right now, I can't get in. It's got Apple CarPlay, it's got, you know, it's got the Ecotech 1.4, so it's a turbocharged motor. It's good, it's peppy, it sucks because it's got a CVT, but this in stick shift, I wouldn't mind as a little gas saver if it wasn't that color. Anyway, back to my car. We got a center console lid, because if you remember, the one up there is torn up pretty badly. I'm not doing the steering wheel. I'm just going to leave that cover on. That cover is nice because it matches the interior, and that seat, I'm just going to leave the rip in that. It still does have 250,000 miles. And then that is this latch, so this can finally shut. And then I'm going to try to recharge the AC. Hopefully that fixes it, because the compressor does still spin, so it should have AC. But anyway, we're going to get started with the power steering, and then just move on through all this, and we'll see if I have enough time to even clean this today. If I do, I can get this thing listed by tonight, and I'd be happy if I could do that. Alright, so this Lucas stop leak works very much like the stop slip for the transmission. My power steering reservoir is right there. You can see there's the cap, even though you don't want to focus. There is the cap. So I'm going to fill this all the way up with that. Make sure it gets to the cold line. Drive it, see how it drives with this new fluid in it. Most likely I'm going to have to fill it up again after I take it for a drive, because there's like no fluid in this at all because it all leaked out. If you just have a little leak and you're just starting this, you should only have to fill that reservoir once, and then drive it and give it a couple of days and make sure see if the leak stops or not. Alright, we got it right at where it needs to be filled up. Now let's see how much whining this pump's going to do. Fire's right up. Oh wow, it quieted up the pump a lot. And that definitely is power steering. Wow, that pump sounds... It does not sound good. It sounds a lot better. This is definitely sellable. Like this. Let's go see. You can hear the pump a little bit down there, but once the hood's closed, that should be off. Let's take a look at this. I filled a little bit extra in there, but I feel we're going to need it anyway, because most of this is the lines and everything are empty, so it's going to fill up the lines when I take it for a drive here, which I'm going to do now. Okay, so far so good. I guess we'll really see like tomorrow if I come out and see where the level is, or honestly probably by the time I'm done working today I'll be able to figure out whether it's leaking or not. I looked underneath, I just took it for a drive, and it's not leaking anything now after the drive, so it's not a huge leak. So I'm hoping that stuff works, because then that'll fix the rack and pinion problem. It drives really good now. A lot more steering help. I don't need to be moving for it to feel like I have power steering, which is really good. Alright, next up, I am obviously putting on a new latch here, or not latch, the whole head, or armrest. It looks exactly the same, which is nice, and it's just 2 Phillips head screws that bolt into there. I gotta remember to clean that out. There we go, that's fit. 50 bucks fixes that ugly little ripped up armrest, so I'm happy. Alright, next up I want to do that latch over there. As you can see, I kind of just cut it half-ass, the old one off, so I need to now take this piece of plastic off here to get the wire actually unplugged. You take a 10mm, you take out that little grab handle there. You gotta take off this little cover to get to it, but that's pretty self-explanatory. I think the rest of it pops down. I could be wrong, let me check. Alright, so it does just pop. If you want to take it out all the way, I think you gotta do something here with the window trim. Which I don't think I'm gonna mess with that. I'm just gonna use the space I've got in here to work. These I believe are all 10mm. Let me check. Yeah, they're the same as the one here. Yeah, they're all 10mm. One's already undone. That's a little concerning. They're all 10mm to pull this little panel off here, and then that'll give you access to the plug underneath. Alright, that is the motor, the actuator I guess I should say, for the lock, for the latch, and then it comes down to this, where the latch bolts on, and then my new latch has a new plug that goes up there and plugs into that. There she is, and it works too. If you shut it down, it's stuck. It doesn't actually pop open now, and then when you press the pull the lever, there she goes. 75 bucks for that part. A bit more expensive, but a fix that needed to happen. Oh, and might I mention that the lock and unlock works too, so all the electronics still work. it locks when I lock the car, so that's nice too. Alright, before I get to these bumpers, I want to quickly see if I can charge the AC. Oh, I found a little fuse panel cover that was in the glove box, which is nice. Makes it look more complete in there. I want to check the fluid level too, because it's been about half an hour since I took it on that drive now. Oh, I'm going to have to put the camera down for this. Let's take a look at our fluid level. Cold, hot, it's still pretty hot, so it's sitting at the hot line still. I can see it in there, so yeah. Alright, so we still got fluid. Whether it's stopping the leak or not, I don't know. I think I see stuff dripping down there still, but I'll give it some more time, let the stuff work its way back in there a bit more. Alright, you can see right there, it's sitting right in the middle. It took pretty much all of this bottle. And yeah, you can see how you connect it right there to the low point. Make sure it's a low point. The high point's over here. You do not want to open that. And yeah, it feels good inside. It feels like air conditioning, so. Oh yeah, that feels really good. Oh yeah. Okay, good. So we have working air conditioning. That is good. That'll make this much easier to sell, especially now that it's summer here and whoever's gonna be test driving it, it's gonna be hot out. Alright, so out here looking at this this fender, don't mind the dogs in the background playing, or not fender, I guess it's this mud flap needs to come off, and then we can unbolt the bolts on these bumpers. And I'm a little scared about some of these bolts because they are rotted. If you look in there, crusty. Probably gonna have to do some cutting and fancy fab work probably to fit the new ones on. So yeah, get the mud flaps off. It's 4 bolts, 3 on the side, one of which in the middle I broke, unfortunately, but the other 2 I got out. 1 in the bottom, and then it should just pull right off here. Alright, I got all the plastics off the 2 mud flaps and this like little cargo cover thing, like so nothing scrapes into the bumper when you load it. You can see pretty crusty and rusty in there, and I blew a lot of it out and away, so I don't know. Yeah, I hate it up here. Gotta get down south. But you can see then, now I'm in here, we have that crappy bolt right there, which I am not looking forward to. Oh, it's better on this side. We got that. I should be able to get that with an impact and not completely destroy it. We got 1 there, and that actually might be it. No, wait, we got a couple on the bottom too, so. Alright, I will try to see if I can get those out without killing them. Well, both bumpers are off. There they are, next to the nice new chrome ones. As you can see, it took some persuasion and a lot of rust fell to get them off. This side I was able to keep 2 of the 4 bolts. The other side I was only able to keep 1. So unfortunately, I am going to have to probably just zip tie it to keep it staying the way it is. Keep it upright. Alright, look at that. That looks pretty good. It looks a lot better than what that was. A little bit of a gap issue there with the fender, or the mud splash guard. I don't really care. That really isn't noticeable. And these were aftermarket parts. They are not Toyota parts. And those might have actually even gotten flexed from being on those bad ones for so long, because it is plastic. Here, let's shut this. Now that shuts. Look at that. That looks good. That looks really good, especially with that hitch. This one, the gaps are better on that. This is the one that I had to cut more bolts out of, so unfortunately it moves a little bit. Not much though, like barely at all now that I clipped the little piece of plastic in here. And the piece of plastic fits good, it fits how it should be. I'm pretty happy. I think this looks good. I'm going to quickly get the pressure washer out. I think I'm going to pressure wash the whole thing just so it looks a bit better. I don't have time to detail it today. Sometime this weekend I might do that. Actually, probably Saturday I'll do it, and that'll also give me some time to drive it around a bit more, find anything else wrong with it, and then list it accurately on Saturday. You can hear there's not much power steering pump noise as it's driving, obviously, because there's less work the pump has to do. And the AC's feeling good. Bumper's not falling off back there. Door's not opening up because it's latched. So it's good. It's ready to go. I just gotta get it washed up. Like I said, I'm gonna pressure wash it tonight, and then over the weekend I'm gonna give it an actual detail inside and out and list it up. All right, daylight's kind of leaving us here. I'm not drying it or anything. I just wanted to get it a good wash, rinse all the mold off, which is what I've done. You can still see it's gonna need to be polished and all that, but it looks good when wet, so it'll look good when polished. That is the general rule. The wheels cleaned up nicely. I put some wheel acid on them. They're a little pitted up, but that's typical for Toyotas. That little bit of rust barely visible, and those new chrome bumpers looking good. I'd say today was a pretty good day for this, and I'll finish it up, get really detailed up on the inside this weekend, and hopefully get some good money for it. All right, come back out here to this 4Runner. It's been a couple of days, as you can see. It's all dry now from the wash. It still looks really good. I am thoroughly debating whether or not I'm gonna buff it. Like, the only thing I'd really buff is the hood. I don't know. Like, obviously the paint is not perfect. It's good looking though already. Like, I don't think it needs a buff. I don't know. I'm really twisted and torn. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is probably the best of the paint's gonna get. Like, it's not too dull. Just doesn't have a layer of wax on it. I might just try to buff the hood and see how that comes out. I think the doors and everything are fine. Obviously clean the wheels and tires. These running boards came out nice and black. Like, they aren't even really that dull. It's just these fender flares. I'll put some trim restorer on, and those will look good. Like, and put some shine on the tires, and those will look good. Like, it's a good looking truck, and these bumpers back here, of course, make it look good. But I think I'll be able to do all that, and then get it listed for a good price. The big thing's gonna be the interior. That needs to get cleaned out. Take out these floor mats and pressure wash them. This ceiling is a big thing. I don't know what happened. I know the guy was a smoker, but that is some real buildup on this headliner. So I'm gonna see if I can fix that. I gotta clean these door jambs still. I pressure washed them, if you remember, but I still gotta kind of wipe them down. I haven't even looked out back. Yeah, got a couple of things I'll need to clean in here too. Back's not too bad. I'll give it a good, I'll probably extract some of these areas after I vacuum it. First up's gonna be the vacuum. Looks like some rust got on the carpet back there. That's gonna be tough to extract, but I think I should be able to do it. I'm gonna leave the seats in. I'm not putting that much time into it. What I am really not looking forward to is the mess that is out back here. Oh my god, this thing is heavy. I don't know what the hell happened. Probably because this door was leaking for so long because it wasn't latching correctly. But anyway, I gotta clean up this, get all the leaves and stuff out. This should clean up after a couple passes on with the extractor, I'm hoping. We'll see. I can hope. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with the interior here. It says it's gonna thunderstorm here in a bit. I believe it, but I'm just happy that the sun's away for now, because that'll help with my job here. Well, as you can see, the thunderstorm has arrived. I got one thing accomplished. I got all the door jambs wiped down. Yay. You can see they're not filled with mold anymore. They look a lot nicer. They'll be a lot more presentable when someone opens the door. Trunk too. The paint is really faded in the trunk jam, of course, because it's an older vehicle. Normally the paint doesn't really last in door jams from the beginning. I don't even think they were clear. No, they were clear coating this. Some cars, they don't even clear coat door jams back in the day. Fun fact. And I still think some companies don't clear coat door jams to save money, but they did on these, and that's why in some spots on here you see cracks. Anyway, yeah, I'm assuming the storm's gonna be here any minute now, so I'm gonna let this sit for a second, go get something to eat. It's gonna get nice and wet, get another bath. Then I'm gonna come out, dry it off, make sure there's no water spots or anything, and then yeah, move on to get back onto the inside. All right, back out here next day. I didn't get too much done yesterday because of storms, and conveniently we have more storms coming today. But I did vacuum up the headliner. It looks better now. Still a couple scuffs and stuff like that. Some stains right here that didn't come out. But it's as good as it's gonna get. I gave the whole car a vacuum. You can see the front's ready already. I just gotta shine up the dashboard and all that, do a little bit more cleaning on the center console. But this thing looks good. Back, I still gotta extract. You see there's some stains in there. The rust stains. Hopefully I can get them out. But yeah, and then of course the very rear still needs to be extracted. Hopefully I can get all that out. But other than that, it is pretty much ready to go. I'm ready to go get some pictures of it. Hopefully this rain doesn't happen and I'm able to, I don't know if I'm gonna get a chance to polish this or not. I'm probably just gonna leave this hood the way it is. It looks like it was a respray. I don't think it looks too bad. Yeah, I really don't think it looks too bad. So I'll probably just shine up the tires and go get some pictures of it because this truck looks good already. Well, if you can't tell, I have hit these carpets with the extractor, both sides. Unfortunately, some of the rust stains were just too strong to come out. They got much better, but these stains, some of these stains have been in here for years upon years. But the majority of them came out. All the ones that were just sitting there, it's back to being beige instead of black or dark in some areas. And then back here was the same thing. We gave it a good couple of passes and got out what we could. This is never going to be perfect again because obviously there was a leak back here that kind of destroyed the carpet. But oh, it's already drying up too. That's nice. But yeah, that's looking much better back there. Looking much better back here. Looking a lot more presentable. This thing is looking ready to get sold. I just got a couple more details I gotta do. Alright, here is the final product on the 4Runner. You know, our usual spot out here by the church for photos. It's a hot one tonight and the sun is bright, so photos were meh, but still pretty good. So you can see we shined up those tires. Got all the trim looking nice, wheels looking good. Those bumpers looking shiny as always, the paint looking shiny as always. Let's see, back here. That came out so much nicer. In there, cargo rack. Around this side, same thing, roof looking nice. Inside, about the same thing I showed you before. Nice and cold in here because that air conditioning feels good. Seats looking like they've never been used back here. Up here, looking good. Steering warmed up and you can hear not much power steering whine now. Look at that. Clean, clean, clean. This thing is going to be a good seller. Down the middle there. That Kenwood stereo. I'm happy about this. So that's all really for this. I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to include cleaning up the Taurus in this video. It might just be a little too much for the video, so I might just include that in the next one, or make another video just specifically for detailing the Taurus. If that's the case, I'll see you in that video. If not, I'll see you soon. But no matter what, if you like this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. If you want more videos like this where we're buying and selling cars or flipping cars, let me know and I'll make it happen. If I get the likes, that makes a difference, makes it worthwhile. But anyway, I hope you guys all enjoy this video no matter what, and I'll see you soon.